Roemer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to join in the salutes and the accolades to you and a job well done, and a job that's extremely difficult to do on a daily and hourly and minute-by-minute basis, especially the good detective work and the gut sense and the common sense that you used prior to 9/11. Let me ask you a couple questions about this case in particular, just to try to get a better sense for what you were feeling in your heart and your gut. You said that you recommended this case, and you say in your testimony, from Mr. Bosch, who was a supervisor to you.
That is correct.
And you presented the case to Mr. Bosch, and you took the suspect into another room, even though his documents were clean. What were the top two reasons? What was it that really bothered you about this guy? His documents are clean. There's no really obvious, compelling reason why you might pick him out. You've just said to our commissioner that there might have even been some pressure on some of the inspectors to not be as tough on Saudis. What was it in particular? Two things that you could recommend to other people in your job.
Well, number one was the person's behavior, okay, the demeanor, the way he was addressing, arrogant. Number two, that he was impeccable dressed, with a military appearance. By spending 26.5 years in the military, wearing short haircuts and well-trimmed mustache, normally is done in the military. And then the real truth about the whole issue was there was a gut feeling that something wasn't right. The more questions that I asked is the less plausible answers that I get, i.e., why he was going to spend 3 or 4 days waiting for somebody when he was going to be traveling through the United States for 6 days. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, and then every time that he come up with one answer, he go to another, and he contradict himself, and so evasive. So he ring all the whistles, that something wasn't right.
So in order to then take this to the higher level and get Mr. Bosch to recommend to Mr. Hernandez, his supervisor, who's at home and has the day off and maybe he's in bed, you then say, I feel strongly enough about this particular case. This guy's impeccably dressed. I have a gut sense about him. Something's not right. I have no facts to base this on, but something really bothers me about this person. How often is it that Mr. Bosch might have said to you in this kind of case, let's not get Mr. Hernandez out of bed on his day off. We don't have this factually based. This is just your gut sense. As good a person as you are, maybe you have the right sense on this one. I'm not going to buck this one up.
Well,
does that happen very often?
No, sir. No,
Once you decide that this is even a case not based on fact, you can get this bucked up from Mr. Bosch to Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, sir. I feel strongly that that's the case. And I have this in previous incidents in a few occasions when I have went similar or some kind of same problem, and they have backed me up, and we have been right.
With respect to Mr. Hernandez's conversation with you, he asked to get on the phone directly with you.
Yes, sir.
And he agrees with you right away?
Well, he asked me a few questions first. I explained to him the line of question that he didn't have a return ticket, that he stated somebody was waiting for him. I just gave him a whole synopsis of it. And then he asked me that if I tried to place him under oath. And when I stated yes, but he refused to answer, then he went to understand, and then when I told him that he should be there to see how this guy is behaving, something is not right. That's when he decided to, hey, I agree with you. If you're telling me that that's the way it is, that's the way it is. So when he asked me about the oath, and I told him that he refused to answer, so I say, well, we got him on the 235.
And you're doing all this through interpreter when you're asking Mr. Katani questions about his cash and who he's meeting, and he lies about trying to meet somebody. This is all through an interpreter where?
That is correct. Right in the what we call secondary offices.
So this interpreter is sitting with you?
No, sir. He's on the phone. He's here in
telephone.
Washington. We got a speakerphone, And that's what we do all the interviews when we use interpreters.
And is this awkward at all for you, or does this communicate pretty quickly when you're doing it through a speakerphone?
Oh, we don't have no problems, sir.
Finally, on a question about post 9/11 now, you say in your interview with our staff, the question is, do you have the manpower today to make this work? And you say, well, we only have 4 secondary rooms, and that's not enough. Meaning that these 4 rooms, now in a post 9/11 environment, people are a lot more diligent. They're looking for these clues. They're picking them up. These rooms fill up very quickly now?
Very quick, yes, that's affirmative, sir.
And how quickly do they fill up? If you're on an average day and you're your first couple hours on the job, how fast are these secondary rooms filled up?
Well, normally in Orlando International, we have all the international flights come about the same time. There are 747s. Virgin Atlantic have 3 flights. British Airlines have 1, and we can fill those things in about 40 minutes. I mean, sometimes we have even about 25 people just waiting to be interviewed for one reason or another.
You have a long queue then waiting for
Yes, sir.
the 4 rooms.
We have it right now, yes, sir.
And is there ever any subtle pressure on you not to get that line too long, or do you
No,
just
sir.
keep them good?
No, sir. All that have changed since that day.
And do you need more rooms and more personnel?
Well, that's affirmative. We need more space, but my understanding is that they're working on it because the new merge with Customs and Border Protection, they're going to rearrange the setting of the area.
And split up the rooms or build more?
I don't have any idea how they're doing it, but I know that they brought in some engineering people for the Orlando Gray International Airport personnel, and they're working on some blueprints.
And finally, last question, has the attitude of some deference to the Saudis changed in a post 9/11 environment?
That's most definitely, yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you again for a job well done.